Hello everyone and welcome back to Video Games All Day, Worst Thing on Earth. I'm Alton. With me as always is Reese.
Hello.
Okay.
Ah.
And we just want to, this is going to be like a chill episode because we need to just keep just churning out that content, that lovely content millet that our audience
This will not
craves.
be a chill episode. I am going to mentally ill the shit out of this episode. So I hope you're ready for a panic attack of an episode, everybody. Hold on tight.
Okay, well, I'll be chill, Reese will be mentally ill, and Kay will be just right. So we got the...
That's right.
Just so we get all our three genders covered.
Exactly.
That's right.
Anyway, lame jokes aside, let's dig into this week's news. Or this month's, I guess I should say.
This season's news.
The season's news. Season's newsing to you all.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm cutting all of this.
Really like the idea of a newspaper just called the Summer Report, and it's just a list of deaths by climate change. Used to be really cute until things changed.
All right. Speaking of mass death, Fortnite's adding a museum about the Holocaust.
Oh.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and this is we reported way back on like they're adding like a Martin Luther King exhibition.
Yeah, I learned a lot from that.
Like I'm pretty sure Reese, you're the only person who actually plays Fortnite.
It's true. I am the sinner.
You play Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I need to reconsider some things. Go on.
That's right. Listen, any one of your friends, your family, could be one of them, a Fortnite player.
Reese, I want to know, have you experienced the Martin Luther King exhibit, or indeed this Holocaust exhibit?
I haven't checked out the Holocaust exhibit because I don't know. I feel like I don't need to explain why I haven't stopped by. It's because I don't want to learn about the Holocaust.
Yeah, Reese is denying that the Holocaust.
I think that this is slightly better, in Fortnite language than the Martin Luther King exhibit, because that was just like a movie theater event.
Right.
Previously they've shown like Inception and Lord knows what else. And then they showed they had like a Martin Luther King extravaganza where you could like buy tomatoes and throw them at the screen and jump around.
What?
Which was...
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I get the feeling this one's going to be a little bit more thoughtful, where you're going to have like a less chaotic sort of museum to just go through, because Fortnite just has a zillion little like creator mode maps, and I think this is just going to be one of them with guns turned off and everything.
Museum. It's basically just a digital museum, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And have that. I assume there will still be people with open chat letting people know that we don't consider the supply lines might have killed the Jews.
There's going to be somebody there very interested in why the concentration camps had pools, the capacity of the ovens, just all the most disgusting anti-Semitic things you can imagine, because this is a video game and there are going to be gamers there.
Yeah, I will not be checking it out because it's upsetting. But I do really like the idea of somebody going through it and just being like, no shit, this was recent. This is pretty recent. Like just being blown away by the Holocaust.
Learning about the Holocaust from Fortnite. Jesus.
I mean, considering the state of education in this horrid country. I mean, meaning either the United States or England,
right,
including all the hosts. That it has to be true, right? There has to be just some kid with in a deeply conservative family being homeschooled, just being like, "What the fuck? Why don't we learn about this?" And I cannot wait for the screaming fight that ends the family that results.
Yeah. Well,
There's so many Nazis in the comments of the video embedded in the article, the YouTube video.
The YouTube
Oh,
video?
God.
Okay. I want to see.
Yeah. The video is published by the Jewish Chronicle, which is like a right-wing, like Zionist paper in this country.
Okay, there's no comments. The discussion has been closed. This article is from PCGamer.com, and unsurprisingly, the comment section has been closed, which we'll get to as to why that is later, because we actually have another thing that ties into this.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, no, the comments are on the YouTube video that's embedded in the article, not the article.
Right. Oh, well, I don't see any of the anti-Semitic ones, but there's somebody with a avatar of Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Says, looks amazing. Can't wait to experience it in the game.
Oh, no.
Awesome. Awesome.
Somehow, people just being like, this feature is so cool. There's talking about it like it's a new gameplay feature or like a new map. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the content churn on Fortnite of like what they feature or what's like from Epic, the developer, is just constantly changing. And 99% of the time, it's just like the Lantern Festival. Solve all the puzzles and get a lantern emote. And it's just like the dumbest shit like that. And it's every so often, you know, something gets slotted in there that actually like, you know, raises the hackles of people. That's not just pure thoughtless dog shit. And it's really funny how the reaction is.
Well, another comment points out world first, quote unquote, Fortnite Holocaust Museum. That sounds like a threat. We're gonna get. I mean, I know there's like more than one museum about the Holocaust. Are we just gonna get all of them in Fortnite? Are we gonna get like all our museums in Fortnite? Like they just convert the entire Smithsonian to Fortnite?
I think that is absolutely going to happen. It's
like the 22nd century is just like Fortnite's going to be the new like Library of Congress. If something's important, they'd like put it in Fortnite.
You know what? I think that's what's going to happen. So we got to get established on Fortnite now. I think
we need
so?
to do.
Yeah,
we need to learn how to be Fortnite creators. I'm press ganging you two into this, and we're gonna make the Shinzo Abe Memorial Museum.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That feels possible somehow. We should do that.
I think that, you know what? If weird Catholic people can like take over Roblox, I think we can do the same for Fortnite.
Yeah, I think 3D. I think, you know, they can have Catholic mass, and we can have 3D printed gun mass in Fortnite.
Anyway, I'm not going to reiterate the circumstances around the doohickey and its glorious defeat of Shinzo Abe.
You're not going to give step-by-step instructions how to build the doohickey on this pod.
I am.
Well, that's going in the Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, that's premium content. We can't just put that on the main
profiting off of it. That's even more.
Anyway, our next topic of the day is Ubisoft.
Boo!
Get out.
Continue.
And this is the thing, is that this is actually apparently, like, on the face of it, like a good news for once, because this is an article from PC Gamer by Jody McGregor that says Ubisoft says Assassin's Creed Mirage is only 20 to 30 hours long. But yeah, honestly, I'm really kind of pleased that this seems like they're seemingly taking this experimental step in having a video game that isn't just mindless fluff for like 200 hours.
I'm curious if the game is actually going to be less mindless fluff, or if it's just going to be
shorter. I really hope it's less mindless fluff, but it's Ubisoft, so there's every possibility that this is just like exactly the same, but just shorter, which, I mean, I guess to me would actually be a positive, right?
Yeah.
I almost feel like my reaction is that there's going to be more mindless fluff. I just don't see them making a smart decision for the gamers over there by those French freaks.
Mhm.
I just see them being like, well, we can just make it shorter, and you can play mahjong or something
Mm.
for another 100 hours, which is honestly too substantial of a content. Just I think it's just going to be like a ton of bonus dog shit, and the story's just going to be less. I don't think it's going to be more substantial at all. Because in the practice of, like, I think a lot of similar games, like, the math seems to mean it's like we can make the game shorter and put less in it and make it and just have a bunch of like gamer bloat shit in there if you want, and the hogs will be pleased. So that's the direction I think they're gonna go.
Yeah, probably.
I also want to highlight the difference between the Twitter comments on this article are all like, yeah, good. I hope that
Mhm.
they focus the actual gameplay to like 30 hours of like actually good content. And then like the fucking comments on the article on the PC Gamer webpage is just like fucking, you got what you asked for. Short game, lower budget, 10 hours of story, 20 hours of filler, all for the lower price of £60. Have fun. Me, I'm looking forward to lose myself again in the worlds of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Thumb. I think that's supposed to be a thumbs up emoji, but it doesn't actually show.
Oh. It's ambiguous. It could be thumbs down.
Yeah. Uh,
Wow.
Icarus78 says it better not cost more than $30. Uh,
Yeah, I'm sure it won't. Don't worry.
That's really been Ubisoft is constantly thinking about your pocketbook. That's what they care about.
I'm not. And then Dano Blamo says, I'm not going to buy it if it's that short. That's dreadful. Before any of you say, wouldn't you rather have 20 hours of good gameplay than 100 hours of mediocre gameplay? Longer doesn't automatically mean worse. They're unrelated. AC Odyssey was fantastic, and that was a 100-hour game. On the other hand, we can definitely say a game will presumably cost $80 for 20 hours of entertainment, which is $4 per hour. That's absurd. Be patient and wait till it's on sale for years for $20 and show Ubisoft you're not falling for their content shrinkflation. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of arguments that people can say that, like, yeah, there's no guarantee that this is going to be like a much better focused, shorter experience. But also, it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand the I don't understand the Ubisoft creatures. Like the people who are like, you've taken away my 200 hours of slop and mindless collectathon bullshit.
Well, I think that's the thing. None of them are enjoying themselves. So the only way they know how to respond to anything is with anger. There's no positive outcome for these people. They're looking forward to an Assassin's Creed game in 2023. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only one mercy for them.
And again, it's like, I think this logic of like breaking down video games as like a pure cost per hour of entertainment is such an insane thing to do to a
Oh yeah.
supposedly artistic medium. I really don't feel like you should be allowed to do that. Like, you can't just say that, like, well, why do they want me to go to this movie that's 90 minutes versus Oppenheimer, which is 3.5 hours? You know?
Yeah.
And I think it's telling how there's no actual real like articulation for the argument for bigger games. It's just like instinctually inside they want the biggest, cheapest buffet of all time, and that's it. There's no reason really why other than it's just like, well, what am I going to do with myself if I'm not playing Assassin's Creed forever? I mean, it's like you would assume there's at least one person going like, oh, well, the length of the game gives you more time to sit with the character and then the back and forth with all of these NPCs. Like, because that's not true. There's no. I played Origin, and the worst thing about it is it's how fucking huge it is. It would be so cool. I wouldn't say it's so cool, but I would think it'd be a playable Assassin's Creed, perhaps the last one, if it was of a smaller scope. But it's this weird, just like emotional, reactionary argument of just like, for whatever reason, they can't consider the argument. It just has to be forever. I'm just gonna get pissed off about this, and I can't just choose not to buy an Assassin's Creed, the ultimate sane thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
They have to angrily not buy it for purposeful reasons. It's like, great, enjoy your beautiful consumerist prison.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think I kind of want to try some of the later Assassin's Creed games, but I just can't be asked to like fucking reinstall the Ubisoft launcher because it just, I don't know. I already got like 3 launchers already.
Yeah.
The way that like every single like AAA publisher has basically decided that, yep, we're gonna have our own platform and it will be way shittier than Steam and hog computer resources and just, I don't know, make your experience worse for no discernible reason. And even if you buy it on Steam, you still have to log in to our dog shit service. It's literally like the worst system possible. I both own and have played stuff like The Division on Steam, and it's like in order to play the game, you have to like start it through Steam, and then it will open the Ubisoft launcher, and then you get into the game. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I have played Siege in the past, which I would defend as a legitimately good shooter.
Right.
But it's connecting with Uplay and just the darkness of the vibes, and you're obviously getting infected by some kind of digital spores every second you're there. It's untenable to me. And the number one reason why I stopped playing it, number 2 being, is that I'm dog shit at it. But
yeah. All right. There's also this article that apparently the account deletion was like the big scare about Ubisoft deleting inactive accounts was apparently they have to comply with EU law about data privacy protection.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Is it Ubisoft saying that they're complying with EU law, or how reliable is this source?
No other European company is doing this, as far as I know. Like, what's going on here?
I don't know. It says that it takes into account a whole bunch of factors, whether or not they deleted gaming activity of account since creation, the account's libraries, duration of inactivity, meaning the last login to our ecosystem, including from Ubisoft games or Steam or from other platforms. In practice, as of today, we've never deleted accounts that have been inactive for less than 4 years. The existence of an active subscription tied to the account. Oh, so they won't delete the ones still paying them. That's good. Fuck me.
It's weird. Those don't breach any laws. That's weird.
This sounds like bullshit to me. This sounds like Ubisoft is saying they don't know how to do the dishes. It's not. It's just that nothing can be done.
I'm ready to move on from Ubisoft. I mean, it seems like they give you a warning email 30 days prior to account deletion. And if a user tries to log in during that window, they will receive a notice and a link to reactivate account upon login. So, I mean, it seems like they warn you before they do this at bare minimum, but...
The only thing that really pisses me off about this, honestly, is that they warn you beforehand.
Yeah.
It should be sudden. You should lose everything immediately.
That's right.
Just imagine the freedom of being cut off from the Ubisoft ecosystem permanently.
Oh, please.
It's like I still have some kind of mental investment in like the Ubisoft dog shit because I've got like at least a few games on there.
Come on, French guy, Vez Guimo, whatever the fuck you're called, kill my account.
Ijimo.
And yeah, whatever. Fucking glub shitto.
Come on, you pussy. Come on, you pussy. Delete my account. You don't have the guts.
That's right. Just playing chicken with Ubisoft, being like, "Come on, you pussies, do it!"
I will never say that guy's name right. Fucking Guillermo del Toro.
Why would you?
Fucking.
I forgot that my sister is not a gamer at all, except she likes the Assassin's Creed franchise because they usually have a historical setting, and at one point that mattered a little bit, less so now. And so I just have like every Assassin's Creed and The Division on my account, and I'm ready for it to go. You
Yep.
French pussies.
Mm-mm. This can't be right. I'm like looking at my. I know I've got more games than this. Like it says I only have Far Cry 4, The Division, and Uno. That doesn't sound right.
It comes with Uplay, dog.
That's all you need.
I have The Division 2. I know I do. Because I played it like for 5 seconds, and I thought it sucked.
If you have it through Steam, is it? Oh no, my Steam stuff is connected to it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm
This is
not a
odd.
Ubisoftologist.
This is very strange to me. Where's my video games? And I'm pretty sure I got an Assassin's Creed game too.
They deleted your games. They're in the
Oh my
process of deleting
God.
them as you check it.
They're deleting my games. Oh well. I guess that's not exactly a big deal. So let's move on. What a tangent. What a ridiculous tangent. Anyway, our next story is apparently Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. They put advertising tracking software into their game and then had to remove it quickly after like everyone on Earth got pissed off at them, which I think is a very reasonable thing to do. Like, how insane and like disconnected do you have to be to think that this is a good idea in any way?
I can imagine the invasiveness of it and what I've seen is being undersold, because I feel like it's kind of par for the course to have some invasive software in there, and you can just tell that they thought that this is just like anti-cheat, but we're just getting marketing data or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The devs must have thought they could get away with just pushing it a little bit further, because I have to imagine that this is probably more common than we like to imagine. It's just that the Pathfinder game probably wasn't as big and was just a little bit more egregious than just like any AAA game that you download that has like incredibly invasive software that comes along with it.
Right. Here's an article from GameDeveloper.com. Pathfinder dev Owlcat ditches advertising tracking solution after fan backlash. Owlcat said the fan reaction to the app's Flyer update, which would have allowed it to collect data including IP addresses and OS details, surpassed its worst expectations. By Chris Kerr. Owlcat Games has quickly U-turned on its decision to introduce an advertising tracking solution called Apps Flyer into Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous due to a fan backlash that surpassed its, quote, worst expectations. So I think that is like they knew that there was going to be backlash and they did it fucking anyway.
I find it so interesting that their main excuse is, well, we didn't think you guys would mind this much. You know, like
Yeah.
what
We
is
just
that?
thought you were going to be a little bit angry, not very, very angry. I don't think I've ever seen gamers just be like a little bit upset by something. You know what I mean? I never
Yeah.
seen like a story where a developer does something shitty and I'm like, I bet people will be a reasonable amount of upset about this. You know, it's like if you're talking about gamers, like it's 0 to 100 in like a fucking second.
Yeah, they're known for their moderation, actually.
Yeah.
It seems like the only thing that differentiates this from many other games is that they didn't include an opt-in, which is, obviously that's bad. It is better to have a game that has this dog shit avoidable. But I feel like this practice is incredibly commonplace, and you can kind of tell by Owlcat's reaction, just being like, you're gonna get mad at us now. We're the ones you're gonna pick on now. And everybody does it. Everybody kills dogs, but we kill dogs with a crossbow. We're the bad ones.
Man.
Like this advertising stuff is happening in Uplay, I'm sure. In a number of any of the other big launchers probably has incredibly invasive stuff. Epic has an incredibly invasive data collection.
I'm sure.
Scheme around it. It's just that with Steam, you're not allowed to have these kind of extra things without the opt-in. Right. So it's that seems to be the only difference. Is you still have to ask players for them to vomit up all their information to you.
Although some fans lauded the studio's quick response and transparencies, others on the Pathfinder subreddit suggested that the studio likely had a pre-prepared plan of action should the update ruffle feathers. Addressing that claim, Alcat said that scrapping AppsFlyer was an, quote, on-field decision made by the relevant authorities. Quote, some of us were quite pessimistic about this, so we were carefully monitoring social media, but the scale of outbursts surpassed the worst expectations and had to be reacted upon quickly, added Alcat's community liaison. I mean, this kind of sucks because, like, Alcat, they make a lot of good games, and it's like, as you said, Reese, this isn't like something that's like unusual or even uncommon in video games or launchers or what have you. But yeah, the thing is though, like you have to set expectations. This was not the expectation for anyone going into this game. And so, Ubisoft does this on basically every single game they've ever made. And it's like, well, you can't do anything about it because it's Ubisoft. But a more independent developer does this, and it's like, a breach of trust because they're held to a different standard than like the megacorps that steal every piece of personal information they can about you.
Yeah, I think there's something about the feeling with these smaller studios that like they might listen to you, and they did. Ubisoft is just gonna keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't give a fuck. They got like sex crimes to cover up.
I have to imagine that it's kind of just like the suddenness of it too was what pissed people off. Like I think if there was some kind of message from the top that this is the game it was going to be, you'd have a lot more shitty comments on Reddit just being like, well, it's not like they lied to you. They're just, that's just the way the game is, and you don't have to play it if you don't like it. And but probably phrased in a less kind manner because it's Reddit. But I don't know. It sucks. Just assume everything you install on your computer is just watching you take those life-threatening dumps and just be at peace.
I do assume that.
Is your PC in your bathroom?
Is yours not, Kay?
Yeah,
That's not how we do it over here in England. Sorry.
This is
like serious MMO players like setup.
Oh yeah, you play Final Fantasy 14. I forgot.
Exactly. You can't just leave the raid. The cat girls will get pissed off at you.
Oh no,
that psychologically holds power over me.
It makes perfect sense. I get it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But unfortunately, that does mean that Ubisoft is watching you poop.
Good.
Yeah, enjoy, Frenchies.
That's the problem, is that they do enjoy it. They're
my
like,
power.
like, ooh la la.
We would not delete her account.
Just Ubisoft just watching you through your webcam, just going,
It's the entire C-suite of Ubisoft is crowded around like one standard definition monitor, looking at you poop.
100%. I would believe it. Those sickos would do something like that. Mo just being like, I wish this had this. I wish I could smell it. Oh God, that's nasty.
Taking big huffs of his screen. It's like, oh, I can almost smell it.
All right, I declare that bit complete.
I agree.
Yeah, no more of that.
Yeah. So basically, they said they would be a good tool to vastly reduce the waste and budget on ineffective content, which is crucial for a 2-year-old game. So I don't know. It was somehow so they could tie like the social media interactions that they get versus like the people who play their game. I'm sure that they had like a good reason for it, but I mean, I just don't understand how they didn't see this coming. Like they kind of did, but like I said, I've never seen just a tiny amount of rage at a video game company ever. It's either all or nothing, it seems like.
Video games are very important. That's why.
Even if it's like an indie company, or whatever, anything with any amount of success, you have to assume the business is just going to assume that your love and trust in them is a resource they can spend.
That's true.
And it's certainly very true outside of gaming, but it's you got to just assume at any point they're going to hear some sort of PowerPoint presentation about the joys and endless splendor of inserting spyware into strangers' computers.
I kind of want to do it.
It's honestly not that hard. I took a cybersecurity class for my minor, and you can just download shit and just send it to people. It's pretty shocking just how easy it would be to do that if you just felt like it.
Yeah, I can think of a few academic colleagues who don't know how to fucking rotate a PDF that I could probably just email something to.
All right. So speaking of, CRPGs, the last thing in the news we want to talk about is the Baldur's Gate 3 discourse. And so there's not anything like specifically shitty about Baldur's Gate 3 or even its development, but for some reason, like, this is a thing that is like a real huge pet peeve of mine, where because a game is beloved, the people who love it are just like these horrible fucking shit-headed monsters who cannot even conceive of even mild criticisms of the things that they supposedly love.
Yeah.
And it really got me going because I just watched like the latest to date this fucking episode, James Stephanie Sterling Jimquisition, and they brought up like this tweet thread by I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly, Xavier Nelson Jr., that basically just talks about how a lot of people's expectations and throwing around terms of this is like the new standard of RPGs going forward, when in this thread Nelson is like really making a great point about how this is like a perfect storm of like the perfect developer, like the perfect brand, this game that's been in development since 2017, which is insane, and how it's just like this is sort of an unrealistic standard to hold companies to because of this perfect storm. And then like everyone in the comments is just like these blue check dipshits who are like taking it out of context and being like, it's perplexing to see a game developer telling consumers not to raise their expectations. And I think that the I hate these piggies. I hate these oinking, squealing trough hoglets.
Anyone who talks about consumers as like a class, silence forever.
Yeah, it's really incredible to be a person to be like, listen, I fucking purchased Baldur's Gate 3 before it came out. That's right, motherfucker, a pre-order. That makes me a little bit more knowledgeable than you about video games and what it means to play them with my smooth, thoughtless mind. You're just gonna have to raise your standard. And I've heard it from like leftists just being like, I don't get why game devs are complaining about Baldur's Gate 3 when like every single game dev tweet about it is like a bunch of qualifiers just being like talking about their fears and just having consumers just be like, tough shit, you're afraid you're going to go out of business, maybe you deserve it. And then you like look in their bio and there's like Marxist Leninist. You're like, okay, whatever. I wish I could find that tweet to roast that person. But the thread by Rit Nelson here is, talks about how the dev cycle, it started in 2017. Like they have other games that came before that in the same genre to build not just experience but the tech. And so it's like there's a reason that every Rockstar game is more like powerful than the last, and it's not just their slave labor, it's the fact that they're able to keep building on the tech that they make to make these games. And if they don't have the tech, they make a game specifically to learn how to use some new program or something they want to include in the game and release it to make some extra money. and then just it's all part of the same cycle. And you're not going to get that with smaller devs, especially people making CRPGs. This is such a unique scenario that I find it to be an incredibly persuasive thread. It's just funny. Just immediately, people are just, no, you're going to do good games, or else.
Or else I'll post.
Exactly. And I know, and it's got to be so fucking annoying to be every other to anyone else who's slightly RPG adjacent, having to people like cruise by your forums or your reviews or whatever, and just being like, well, Baldur's Gate managed to do this, so I don't see why you working alone in your basement can't do a little bit more. And it's gonna feel so bad.
Yeah, and I really feel like this is what's gonna happen to like Solasta. Is it's just gonna be this like mountain of absolute fucking shitheads who are like, why isn't this game made by like 12 people as good as the game made by 400 people over the course of 6 years? You know what I mean?
Oh fuck! I have to write a Solasta review on Steam real quick. Hold on.
I think that this is like a massive achievement, and I think you're right, Reese, that this thread by Rit Nelson is, you know, very convincing, but it's also like just activated like the Manchurian Candidate trigger words for like this frothing at the mouth consumer, and it really is unrealistic to expect this standard of video game from like fucking anyone, like except for like AAA studios, but then again, you can't expect it from them either for different reasons. And I just know I've already seen like reviews on Solasta that are just like, I can't fucking stand it, because it's like I've seen some reviews on Solasta that were like, I can't believe how cheesy the voice acting is, and then when you get into dialogue, they stand in a row. It's so awkward and janky.
It's the
just
best thing in the game.
I know.
It's wonderful. I have enjoyed playing Solasta with the pals and having a great time, and kind of half ignoring Baldur's Gate 3. Now, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 looks incredible. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I get it, I'm sure I'm going to have a great time. No shade on Baldur's Gate 3. Just that, you know, games can still be fun without them being the apex of whatever you wanted before. Apex and monster horniness, which I do respect. But
That's true. If there's one area in which Baldur's Gate 3 clearly has an advantage, it's in the being horny for monsters area. There's not really a lot of that going on in Solasta. There is, however, a quest line where somebody tries to kill you because they wanted to sleep with your mother.
Incredible game. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was in Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
was that quest in Baldur, or was that in Solasta?
That's in Solasta. Don't you remember when Alderbranch like did the quest in the mine, and then there's like, wait, revenge on me?
That's a good
I don't remember that, but all I remember is destroying factions and cackling. That's the story.
The good news is I have a video clip of that happening. So
tremendous.
Great.
Wait, revenge on me, Gorham. Oh no, it's not Gorham. Gorham doesn't try to kill you because they want to. That would be amazing.
Listen, hidden depth to the guy who only says "Welcome to Gorham's Emporium."
Welcome to Gorham's Emporium.
And the inside joke there is we keep accidentally clicking on that voice line, and then on purpose clicking on it until one of us gets angry at the other three.
But yeah, that's my whole point. Is like you can have like incredible experiences with games. Like it doesn't have to be like a 6-year dev cycle with like the money of Hasbro Interactive and Larian Studios, like decades of experience, you know, building upon two of the most critically acclaimed CRPGs ever with Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, which were already like huge, massive tour de forces in like the CRPG revival. You can just have like this little indie game studio that makes you fucking laugh when the little gnome woman says, "Welcome to Gorham's Emporium," and you stand in a straight line. It whips.
Oh, she was a gnome. I thought she was just from Yorkshire. That one's for someone.
Yeah, it's, I'm sure there are lots of people having perfect joyous fun with Baldur's Gate 3. It has co-op, right? So you can still have that experience. It's just, fucking such a bummer to watch people need to like boil it down to this like very, very silly essential where it has to, now that something has been this good, everything let be this good. And I will express nonstop joylessness about it because I have no power over the game industry. When the correct response, as far as I'm concerned, is just to appreciate that something like this got made, and it managed to dodge all the various pitfalls that must have been out there to make something that seems really good. None of us have played it, but I'm willing to acquiesce to the crowd on its quality, at least.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
One last thing about Baldur's Gate 3. The funniest complaint about it is the people getting mad that it's so horny because
Reese is 100% correct. We need to talk. I almost forgot about this, and thank you for reminding me, Reese. This is so important.
This has been on the forefront of my brain, so
because you remembered it, I want you to read this tweet from Games Nosh, the most obnoxious fucking the worst possible name.
All right, so we have a picture of Shepard admiring Mass Effect Miranda's just gargantuan ass taking up the entire screen. And Games Nosh says this to say about it. Remember how mad they were over this scene and how they celebrated its removal in the remaster? Remember that as you see the 20th story this week about how much they're loving Baldur's Gate 3 nudity and sex stuff.
Yeah. What did he mean by this?
I having not played the game, like I don't want to weigh in on this too much, but there's a lot of people opening their psychosexual mind palace to discuss you fucking the monsters in Baldur's Gate 3 or whatever the races identify as. And the one that was even more dire than this is somebody, some weeb complaining about how, when Eastern games are horny, the games press comes down on them like a ton of bricks. And it's like, I'm not here to yuck your weeb yum, but I think that there is that's Kay's job. There is perhaps a age of consent issue that is not at play here with these other games we're discussing. Like,
I remember exactly the tweet you're talking about because it was Freda, friend of the show, who quote tweeted this guy called Romangello, who said, "Imagine if it's a Japanese game with anime graphics doing this, they'd be banned from all platforms. That's how double standard it is nowadays. West good, Japan bad. BS." And Freda was like, "We all know exactly why a Japanese anime style game doing this could become a problem." And the image that Roman Gallo was showing was a news story that was Baldur's Gate 3's full nudity is giving players a shock from IGN. Which, I think Freda has pretty much hit the nail on the head exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's so funny when you look at Steam and it's just replete with, my Futa stepsister is running a diner with my dad, 8.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And like that stuff still pops in if you filter adult content and stuff. So I don't know if I agree with the initial assessment either.
The series did peak with number 5, but
I would like to thank Aiden from the VGATWTOE Discord for bringing this to our attention as well, because this is a screenshot I just posted of the Steam forums and the topics they're in, and holy shit, is it like a whole ass just bowl of brainworms. It's incredible. So let's start from the bottom here. Is this game woke? By Urkuza. This game will flop, mark my words, by Gigian.
Oh, we gotta go around back to that guy and let him know the game didn't flop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck.
I don't think it flopped. Here's one for the lib brainworms. Why are Western developers still providing Russian localization?
You're feeding into Putin's plan.
Yeah.
I can't believe that this video game and the developers actually think that Crimea belongs in the Russian Federation.
I love the idea of somebody just sitting alone in their dark room, getting mad about that, just being just like, doesn't anybody give a shit about Ukraine anymore?
And then I just saved an LGBTQ plus female goblin ? That's
my favorite. Just,
I mean, that doesn't have to be. Maybe that's a neutral-ish title. Maybe they're just like, oh, I'm so excited there are gay goblins.
I understand.
That seems unlikely that's where it's going.
100%. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily indicate offense. It's just sort of like incredulity. Like, there are gay goblins in this game? What? And then at the very top,
just like in real life?
If you don't like the game being woke, stop playing it. ... Which, fair enough.
Yeah.
I gotta go check to see what the fresh news is. Like that is a really good screenshot, but we gotta see what the community view discussions. Is the game really that good? I don't know why you're going on Steam discussions for that.
The solution to male loneliness is the Steam forums.
Why is every Baldur's Gate 3 player trans? Oh god, this one's worth getting into, I think. This is by Foxes. I logged onto Twitch to get the Twitch rewards and noticed every male streamer is playing a female character, and I noticed this too on the Steam forums. Everyone's screenshots showing nice-looking female characters, but they are clearly men. Is this game very popular with trans people? Which is not actually people being trans, I don't think. It's just very funny that they think that that's what being trans is like your Baldur's Gate 3 character doesn't match your real life gender.
It's very funny to me when somebody swings by a just a smash hit in media like this that transcends everything when you have such large audience, and they just they're self-selecting from their own couple of streamers, and they're just like, is this game trans? Do trans people love this game? It's like, everybody loves this game, dude. You can you can create whatever little data set you want, and you're gonna find some more information for your push-board bin about Baldur's Gate 3 force-femming the world, which is happening. But
oh yeah, absolutely. It happened to me. It'll happen to you.
There's another one called Baldur's Gate, which is spelled Gayte.
Nice.
This game is inspiring some real great discourse. So head on over to the Steam forums if you listen to this show, and let yourself be known by saying that it's actually not gay enough and it's not trans enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Share your personal journey about how this game made you a woman against your will, and fight anybody who responds, either in the positive or the negative. That's the VGATWTOE way.
Yeah, if you could imply somehow that it's Joe Biden's fault as well, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, 100%. I'm
not going to fucking imply that. Joe Brandon put Hunter's cock in Baldur's Gate 3. That's one of the cock options. Cock 2.
Just to turn me gay.
Oh, God. That person transvestigating Oppenheimer was so funny to me.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Reese posted about the person doing like transvestigation on Oppenheimer. I don't know. I don't remember where you posted it.
It's in the meme zone.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're like doing skull measurements to show that Oppenheimer has a female skull. They're
talking about the Q angle.
The Q angle, which I think is like their hip spacing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're looking at Oppenheimer's hips and making some decisions.
Yeah.
And you know what? I loathe transvestigation, but you know, a stopped clock is right twice a day. Robert Oppenheimer was trans.
That's right.
100%. That's going to be in my video.
And on that bombshell, let's go ahead and wrap things up. So, Kay, where can people find you and your upcoming video on the transvestigation of Robert Oppenheimer?
Oh, I'm so tempted to do it now. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at K and Skittles, and also on YouTube there. There's probably a link tree. Click on that. Click on all my links. Look at them, touch them, smell them.
All right, Reese, where can people find you online?
I will have to put one of these link trees together, otherwise I'm going to get kicked off the pod. But you can find me at on Twitter or Blue Sky or Twitch at Your Very Good Bud. That's it.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter as at Rude Fox Alton. You can find me on Blue Sky at the same at. I got the same handle everywhere now, baby. And go check out my Twitch, where I am currently playing through the original OG Myst. And you can come laugh at me as I struggle feebly against the most devious baby puzzles the 90s can create.
You've gotten a huge fan in Zork Player 69 or something. Whatever that guy's name was.
I think his name is Zork Fan 1.
Sick.
Oh, also check out CRT Sound System, a radio show style video game music podcast where I talk a lot less and we listen to cool tunes. And I've had both of these transvestigators on that I co-host with.
That's right. Listen to the Arcanum episode, the best episode. It's got Arcanum.
A good episode.
It is a good episode. But that is all for now. I hope everyone had a good time listening to that. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.